your program will not be executed. So while and do while they are loops, but the difference is that the while checks the condition before, the do while checks the condition after. That is why for do while, even if the starting condition is false, the beginning condition, the condition one is because it checks the condition many times. That is how loops work. They check conditions many times and execute tasks, corresponding tasks many times. As long as condition is still true, they execute tasks. So for do while, if the starting condition is false, it has already performed the task. That is why we say it executes a task at least once, even if the condition is false. So it is. So after the rehearsal, a simple review on control statement, we can go now in our core concept of USSD. USSD, as I said at the beginning, it is unstructured supplementary service data in full. Unstructured supplementary service data. So it is a communication protocol which provides additional services to normal phone services. We have telephone services, calling, responding, texting, chatting. If it is a smartphone, you can do your whatever it is like a computer. A smartphone is like a computer. All tasks you can perform on a computer, you can also perform them on a smartphone. But a computer cannot provide a USSD service. Okay, so it is an additional service to normal cell phone services. That is why it is called supplementary service. That supplementary service, okay, it is a very good concept because many applications, many companies, many services are provided in USSD structure. For example, if more MTN mobile money, you have to use USSD application. Whenever you dial igihe cyose ukanze akanyenyeri rimwe umunani kabiri urwego, then you are using a USSD application. Whenever you dial *182# and then press an enter key or a power key, so you are directed, you are initiating a connection with that USSD application stored in the servers of your service provider. So the application is hosted somewhere. You are initiating the connection by dialing *shortcode and hash. We call it a shortcode. Then by clicking dial, you are initiating a communication connection or a session. Now you start communicating. Yes, choose one for Kinyarwanda, choose one for English, you choose Kinyarwanda, then you are given menus for Kinyarwanda, Kubitsa, for example, Kubikusa, and so on. And the session is maintained as long as you are still communicating. Okay, so USSD application, they are like you are communicating with somebody, you are talking to somebody, because it uses instant messaging. You send a request, you get a response, you send a request. It is not like SMS, which use store. So messages are stored, and you can, even if you are offline, your message is stored, and then you can read it whenever you want. But for USSD, you you have to be online. So you ask a service, so you get a response, you ask again, you get a response. It is like an instant message. It is like chatting, but you are chatting with a machine. You are requesting a service to a machine. It is a machine which is responding. And I'm chatting like WhatsApp. You are chatting with. So we can say your two smartphones are chatting, or two individuals are chatting. But for USSD, it is a machine which is responding, not another person. So USSD, it is a communication protocol used to send text messages between a mobile phone and an application landing on a network. So it is an exchange of messages between your mobile phone, okay, your mobile phone and an application landing somewhere in a computer. It is a messaging service used in the global system for mobile communication network similar to SMS. Whenever it sends data utilizing the signal channel, whenever it sends data, so it is using a specific channel. You know how GSM works. GSM, it is a system, a global system for mobile communication. Whenever you call someone, okay, whenever you call someone, you are initiating a session, a connection. Okay, you are using a specific frequency, a specific channel. Now that session, communication session, it is like a connection. You are initiating a connection, and that connection is maintained as long as you are talking. Okay, as long as you are talking, the session is maintained, and it is closed when one of you hang up, when you click end. So it is the same for USSD. USSD, as long as you initiate a session, when you dial *111, so you are initiating a connection with a machine. Then you talk, you ask a service, it responds, and it is ended when you end your communication. So, however, unlike the SMS, which follows a store and forward oriented message transaction, for SMS, you can send an SMS when it is stored somewhere and it is forwarded on the receiver, and the receiver can read it whenever he or she wants. It is not an instant messaging. Okay, but for USSD, it provides a session-based connection. A session-based, you have to be able to explain the difference between a store and forward-oriented messaging and session-based messaging. For a session-based messaging, you initiate a session. A session is a connection. Okay, then as long as you initiate a connection, so it means the sender and receiver are connected. They are connected, and then they can start talking to each other and until you end your session. Okay, it is like an instant messaging. A connection is maintained as long as you are communicating. It is as if you are calling someone. When you are calling someone, you are initiating a connection between you and he or her. Then you talk as long as that connection exists. Okay. So after talking, you can end that session. You can end that communication session. But for store and forward messaging, you simply send. You don't want to initiate a connection. You don't want to initiate a connection. You send a message. It is stored somewhere in a machine, and the machine is forwards a message to the receiver. there is no direct connection between you and the receiver. There is no instant, there is no session, communication session between you and the receiver. So because of its real-time and instant messaging service capabilities, USSD service is up to 7 times faster and much cheaper than SMS. You know that to enter into mobile mobile money, you don't need to have SMS or bundles or whatever. No, the requirement is cell phone, so it is cheaper. It is cheaper than SMS because you cannot send an SMS when you don't have some money in your SIM card. So USSD service is up to 7 times faster and much cheaper than SMS for two-way transaction. It is a technology unique to GSM network, and it is the standard for transmitting information over GSM signaling channels. So we have cell phone channels. I told you that we have cell phones. We call them cell phones because phones are grouped in a cell. Okay, whenever you are moving, whenever you move with your cell phone, it moves from a cell to another. Okay, it is the same way as the country is divided into districts, and these districts are divided into sectors. Sectors are divided into cells. Now you can move from one cell to another. It is the same way. Cell phones are grouped into a cell. A cell is having a predefined number of channels. It means sometimes you will call and you will get a feedback that the network is busy. You cannot call. It means all channels are occupied. Okay. It means all channels are taken because when you call, you are leasing a channel. You are taking a channel, and when you end your call, you are leasing a channel. Okay. Now, so USSD use same channels as GSM signaling channels. Okay. Whenever you dial a short code, you are taking the channel, you are using a specific channel, and when you end your communication, you are releasing a channel again. USSD is similar to speaking to someone on a phone, as SMS is to send a letter. It's like sending a letter. It is like an email. An email. So you send an email. So, and the receiver can pass a whole month without reading an email. So, and it is the same for a letter. A letter, you send a letter to someone, and he or she will read it whenever he or she wants. But for a USSD, communication starts when the receiver accepts. Okay, when you call someone, communication should be initiated. Communication should start. You cannot send if the receiver did not accept you to send. So when you call someone and the receiver press a yes key or enter key or yes, pick up your phone, then the communication is initiated. The communication is started. Then you can start talking. But if a receiver did not pick your phone, if he or she did not accept your goal. You cannot send any message. So it is the same for USSD. But for an email, a letter, you only send, okay? Even if the receiver is not aware. Why do we need USSD? USSD is a highly cost-effective and fast technology and is 7 times faster in operating speed than SMS. USSD has several advantages as a peer technology, such as what are advantages of USSD to provide. First of all, it is cheap and flexible. It is cheap and it operates at high speed. Okay? USSD provides a cost-effective, it means it is cheap and a flexible mechanism for offering various interactive and non-interactive mobile service to a wide subscriber base. So it provides a very flexible way of offering various interactive and non-interactive mobile service. So it provides mobile services to subscribers at a very low cost and at a very high speed and in a very flexible manner. USSD supports menu-based applications. Menu-based applications are easy to use because you have menus you have to choose. Choose one for English, choose one for Kinyarwanda, choose one for deposit, choose one for withdraw if you are using mobile banking. USSD is neither a phone-based nor SIM-based feature. It works on almost all GSM mobile phones. So it does not depend on the SIM card you are using. It does not depend on a type of phone you are using. It does not depend on whatever. The condition is one. You should have any mobile phone, any cell phone can use any mobile phone which is connected to any network. So it can use the USSD. It can use USSD services. With USSD, messages can even be initiated during calls, allowing simultaneous voice and data communication. So you can be calling and receiving services from USSD. Okay, so this allows simultaneous voice and data communication. Voice because you are talking, and data communication because you are initiating or receiving USSD services. USSD allows faster communication between users and network applications because messages are sent directly to the receiver, allowing an instant response. So faster communication between users and network applications because messages are sent directly to the receiver. Messages are not stored like SMS. They are not stored on some machines and forwarded to the receiver later, but messages are sent directly to the receiver. This allows faster communication between users. USSD says USSD services available on the home network are also accessible while roaming, unlike SMS. They are not charged of this. There are no charges of this. So when you send or receive a USSD message, there is no charge. There is no fee for this service, so it is cheaper. USSD is increasingly being adopted to develop interactive applications like mobile chatting, roaming with prepaid service, simultaneous software upgrading, and huge customer base predated recharge, mobile banking, etc. Competitive pressure to develop innovative services is driving the demand for USSD. So USSD is a technology which is being adopted because of many reasons. We have listed their advantages. It is flexible, it is cheap, it is interactive, it don't use a store and forward like SMS. So you communicate as you get a response as soon as you send a request. So it is almost it is free of charge to send a USSD request. Does not require to have some airtime on your SIM card. No, there is no need to have money. Even if you have money, there is no charge. There is no fee for sending a request and getting a response. So that is why NT provide good services. Imagine mobile money. Even if you are charged to send money, the charge is not for sending request. No, you are sending money. So as long as you are sending money somewhere else, so you have to pay that service of sending money because it is money. But if you are wanting to access some other services, for example, for mobile banking, maybe requiring a balance. It is a service which can be payable. It is the same. It is the same as using the ATM machine. So they are operation cost, but which are not because it is a USSD. No, USSD as it is free. But some services can be rechargeable, but not USSD service. USSD code format. Short code, we call it a short code. USSD is always initiated by a short code. A short code format is star, then most of the time 3 numbers, then hash. USSD code, also known as a short code, are simple to use. They comprises of asterisk and a hash key, along with a combination of digits from 0 up to 9. Users can directly enter the USSD string and press the code key to send a message. You have to press a code key to send a message. The asterisk, the hash code are much like simple programming code in that they signify the beginning and the end of the request. So each short code is enclosed with a starting asterisk and a hash. And between asterisk and a hash, we have some numbers, some digits between 0 and 9. So we can have 3 digits and so on. Most of the time, we use 3 digits. But we can also use 2 digits and so on. So users can directly enter USSD string and press the code key to send a message. The asterisk and hash codes are much like simple programming code in that they signify the beginning and the end of the request. Asterisk can also be used to separate the codes into multiple requests to access different types of information. So we shall see the. So, for example, you can pass through mobile money and send some money to someone else. Instead of dialing, first of all, star 182 hash. No, you can dial star 182, then star you add another number for sending. For example, you add another star. You put, for example, receivers SIM card number and then a hash. So you can combine many parameters and access a service instead of going step by step. So when you are combining those information, they are separated by asterisks. One star 182 star. Then you, for example, you choose 2 for sending star. You choose whatever. Okay. So you know how to use those combined codes. Enters USSD versus SMS, the difference. USSD use of signaling channels. All of them use channels, yes. USSD use channels, and SMS use GSM channels. All of them use GSM channels, global system for mobile communication network. Types of functionality. This one, USSD use real-time and session-oriented messaging. Session-oriented messaging. Real-time messaging and session-oriented messaging. But SMS use store and forward technique to deliver a text message. It means a text message is first sent to senders SMSC, which is then tried. This is a service, which is like a server, okay, which is a machine which is used to handle those services. It receives and then forwards, which is then try to deliver the text message to the recipient. SMS service is of single instance type and can't involve a continuous session. So the session is not continuous. But for here, USSD service can also involve a menu-based continuous sessions. So per message length, 7-bit character. This use 182 alphanumeric characters. For SMS, we have 160 alphanumeric characters. A very illustration for each transaction. Here we have 2 seconds on USSD, but we have 7 seconds on SMS. You see that SMS is much faster than USSD is much faster than SMS. Analogy. So it works like a web browsing and a telnet. So web browsing, when you open a website, for example, india.com, okay, now you open a home page, you request a home page, then the server provides that home page, and there is like a continuous communication session between you and the server. You request it response, you request it response. But for email, SMS works like emails. No, you send an email and you go. So the receiver will go to the email and get the image. First, dial keys in mobile to operate the service. For USSD, it is yes, you have to dial keys, okay, to initiate the service. But for SMS, you don't need to dial some keys to initiate the service. No, you go in where you type your message, you type the message and send. Operating cost involved. So for here, the cost is cheaper. It is cheaper than SMS. SMS is expensive compared to USSD. Ease of use. Ease of use. Subscriber for USSD, subscriber does not come to create a message. It is as simple as dialing a regular number. Some applications will also allow menus shortcuts. So here you don't need to create a message. You simply dial a short code as you dial a number. For SMS, subscriber need to type a message and then send it. Interface S7, yeah, it is the same. Now, developing a USSD application using Java. How do you develop USSD application?